My name is Darren Schumacher. I am Vice President of Engineering at Robert Bosch Test Equipment in the Aftermarket Group. Previously I was with SPX Service Solutions, running global product development for their diagnostic and service business. And before that I was with Eaton Corporation, where I was the Director of Powertrain Engineering. Specifically with the competing values framework, what I've always enjoyed about it is the scalability. It's the ability to apply it to a person. When you're approaching someone, you're trying to convince them, you're trying to get their input, you're trying to engage them. Are they a relationship person? Are they a data person? Are they a process person? Are they a competitive person? Or are they a creative person? And you'll find, if you think about them in that context beforehand, it can give you a leg up in dealing with them and getting them involved in innovation, which is in the end what you want. But then again, it's scalable. You know, you can look at a company and their culture. You can look at a customer and their culture. You can look at a department and their culture, and in some cases, you know, even a country. And so it's that flexibility and scalability that I find probably the most useful about the competing values framework. When we talk about innovation, what I like about what Jeff does is he gives you some guidelines, but when I hear the word guidelines, you tend to think of something very broad. Somebody will talk about, well, you need an innovative culture. And it's too broad. It's something that you could have known when you walked in the building and you didn't really leave with anything new. Well, with Jeff, you get a set of guidelines that are broad enough to be flexible, but specific enough to actually help you guide what it is you're trying to accomplish. You know, on the other end of the scale, you see a lot of people will try to offer innovation solutions that are very, very, I would use the word recipe driven. If I use this tool and I take the output of that tool and I put it in this other tool, and then I take that tool and I take that output and I put it in another tool, and then I create a scorecard, everything will be great. What I've kind of discovered is I think that makes things more incremental, which Jeff would tell you that's a very red company approach. So if you haven't read the book yet, I would say that's probably correct. But if you're looking for something new and something that's really, really genuinely different, you get some places to start. You know, what are some of the things you ought to think about before you start? Where should you innovate? What are the trends that are moving your industry? Where are the places within your organization that it's safe to innovate? What are the systems that you've set up that will stop you? And how should you deal with them? And you know, by applying that, you know, we've seen some success. You know, as I said, I've applied these principles at 2 companies, and you know, we've achieved growth, we've achieved new, we've achieved different. And I look forward, you know, in my current role with a new company to doing the same thing.